new at 5, an Indiana couple is learning that sometimes challenges come our way for a reason.
Yeah, they were able to overcome unbeatable odds through perseverance and with the help of people who changed their lives along the way. Only on RTV6, reporter Julie Pursley shares their story of hope and faith as they waited for blessings.
Since getting married 10 years ago, Erika and Kirk Mulroney have dreamed about becoming parents. But the journey toward pregnancy, including fertility treatments, was filled with challenges.
It came to a point where that wasn't getting us anywhere either. So we had some decisions to make, but none of them quite felt like what we were supposed to do. We just didn't know why.
After their last failed attempt at fertility, they say part of that reason was revealed. 6 months later, in April of 2009, Erika was rushed to St. Francis Hospital. She had emergency open heart surgery after suffering an aortic dissection, which is a tear in the aorta, similar to the condition that killed actor John Ritter.
Had I been pregnant, both myself and the baby would have died, and I would have been about 5 months pregnant had that procedure been successful.
The night Erika came in was very dramatic.
Cardiologist Dr. Polly Moore was on call and helped save Erika's life.
I truly believe God put me in the right place at the right time. She had a critical, acute illness that was life-threatening. And identifying it immediately and getting treatment immediately is key to survival. And that's what happened with Erika.
Everything happened just so fast. And I was like, she's in God's hands. She'll be fine.
A few years later, Erika found herself in the hospital again. This time she had a lump in her chest. It was a non-cancerous tumor, but she would need surgery and years of chemotherapy.
There was never once I doubted that she wouldn't make it through.
Erika says she feels her prayers to become pregnant were answered, but the answer was no.
In the midst of all of that, in those 2 years, we had decided to start the adoption process. We had visited a high-risk doctor who said, there is absolutely no way at this point that you can carry a child.
After years of heartache, Erika and Kirk's dream of becoming parents finally took off halfway around the world.
God just kept leading us in a different direction.
That direction ended up being Ethiopia, where they were approved for an international adoption. They first laid eyes on their new son, Brooks, last April.
It was surreal to be in another country knowing that that's where our son was.
Brooks had been abandoned in a forest as a newborn. A farmer found him and turned him over to an Ethiopian police officer. This little boy lived in orphanages until the Mulroneys legally became his parents.
The nurse took him and kind of threw him into my hands, and just to hold him and squeeze him and just to see how peaceful he was. It's like, this is our son. This is the son that God had picked for us from the very beginning.
In June, the Mulroneys were able to bring Brooks home to Indiana for good. This bubbly toddler will be 2 years old in May. His mom and dad say they feel like Brooks has been their son from day one.
I'm not a very emotional guy, but this kid, he's unbelievable. And he has touched me, and I can't describe.
There's that saying that everything happens for a reason. But I think in so many instances, we don't get to see right away what that reason is. And in our instance, it didn't take very long before God showed us, hey, this is why.
Can I have a kiss?
Brooks' middle name, which was given to him by the police officer in Ethiopia, is Barakat. In the native language, it means blessings. His mom and dad say his name is no coincidence.
It's really been a fun journey to think about how we're going to get to go through life with this little boy.
This new mom and dad say each day with Brooks is filled with blessings. Julie Pursley, RTV6.
What a beautiful family and a beautiful story. The Mulroneys also pointed out that his first name, Brooke, in his native land means blessings. So they tell us that means their little boy's full name then translates into Blessings Mulroney.